Hey guys, welcome to Sopi Mix Studio Umbiamas, conectando Aruba com o mundo via vídeo podcasting. Conectar conosco, compartilhar ideias e histórias para nos inspirar e para nos abrir. Sopi Mix Studio é a plataforma de podcast na Aruba. Follow-nos no Facebook, subscribe no YouTube ou na plataforma de podcast preferida. Escute o podcast preferido que hora e onde que está. Sopi Mix Studio, powered by Qredits. Bote uma ideia? Qredits educa e prepara a abo para ser um empresário exitoso. De business plan, guia personal e préstamo para negócio até com 100,000 forinhos. Bira para mês donho com Qredits. Sopway. Passa na Sopway para o sop, salada, wrap ou flatbread e mais fresco. Com 7 localidades ronde Aruba. Nós está cerca de Ibo. Sopway. Swingmasterz. Organizando events, conferences of weddings, Mr. de luz, sound, staging, DJ, trussing of flat screen, Swingmasterz está claro para ser boa fiesta éxito. Swingmasterz. E agora, Sopi Mix Studio, a plataforma de podcast de Aruba, está apresentar.
What's up?
Testing. All right. It's a little bit softer than usual.
Yeah? You need some more?
There you go.
Yeah, you're good?
Good afternoon and good morning if you just woke up.
Yeah, some words to our sponsors, please.
Yes. Thank you to Subway, Eat Fresh, Swingmasterz for these lights, and Qredits, all of these for allowing the Sopi Mix family to be able to exist, giving you these almost daily shows every week.
Yeah, and did we do everybody? Swingmasterz as well?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. It's been a while.
Yes, I hope you guys had an amazing Easter.
It's been a while. And that while, I mean talking about Cardano, which is the birth. That's why this show was born.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, I always have a Cardano shirt on.
Yeah.
But this is a shout out to my good friend Tanya.
Aww.
And she got me a nice gift. And there's a lot of people that know me. I do appreciate a good cold one every now and again.
Of course, of course.
But Cardano updates.
Brief introductions.
Oh, yes. My name is Bruce Harms, digital advocate and overall technology enthusiast.
And my name is Jean-Luc. I am a student at the University of Aruba. I've had an interest in tech and games my entire life.
All right. So we are getting all of that out of the way. Welcome, everybody. And yeah, let's talk Cardano.
Cardano, what's changed?
So, how do you feel about Cardano right now, Jean-Luc?
My feelings have not necessarily changed. Just hold and wait for my brain. Damn, I'm super slow today.
Okay.
The applications to be able to come forth, because previously it was just a coin, but not much use case was available.
Right.
Those are being developed as we speak, or as per this recording.
Okay, so those of you who don't know, Cardano is a cryptocurrency or a blockchain technology. And what makes Cardano pretty much different than a lot of other blockchain platforms is that they use something called proof of stake instead of proof of work. So they don't really mine to create the tokens. What's very interesting now is, even for me, when I was researching for this show today, there's a lot that has happened, and there's a lot still going on. And one thing for sure that gives me a lot of confidence in Cardano is that their community keeps growing. The Cardano ecosystem, it keeps growing with participation.
Yeah.
And I just kind of want to go through a couple of things today. And another great thing about Cardano, they're very transparent, and there are key players in the Cardano ecosystem. You got IOHK, which is the company.
Yes.
But then you have, the foundations like Input Output that help fund and propel the open source platform. That's another thing we have to talk about. It's an open source technology, but there's a company driving it. And that's what I think makes Cardano super interesting compared to, for example, an XRP, right? And I think if you approach blockchain from a company's perspective, they're going to be very efficient to reach their goals. But when you approach blockchain democratically with a lot of governance, with many players, it's going to be inefficient a little bit. And so I think that's the Achilles heel sometimes. Because you were just talking about it might be a bit on the slow end.
Yes.
And that's why it suffers in the
price comparison.
Yeah, the speculation of the cryptocurrency itself.
People usually want to see results, and then they don't tend to hold very well if they hear no news, right? But it's been within its own pace. It's been relatively consistent, in my personal opinion. Right?
Yeah, and just what we'll be doing in this show is go through some of the updates. I've just watched Cardano 360. And that would be my first recommendation. That's a great place to stay updated on what's going on. And I don't know about you, but for me, it's a bit difficult to keep track of like the really important bare bones things that are happening under the hood.
Yes.
Like when they're talking about their development and their hard forks and all this, it's very intimidating language.
Yes.
Even for somebody like me that's done lots of web development. But the good thing is there are also simpler concepts and they are super efficient with the media making. And that's what's really nice, So let's talk about what's really going on. So here we are now. I'm going to pull up some statistics. Cardano is right now at CoinMarketCap at 0.89 cents.
Yes.
And, I don't care about that much, but it is a place you go first to see, hey, how's Cardano doing?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like a gauge of community confidence, right? Landscape confidence. What do you think about that?
I think this is the prime example of the general community making it the general crypto community. Wow, not
take your time.
Having the patience for it.
Yeah,
but since it's not dipped at like 50 cents, which would be half at $1, since it's been at $1 for a long time.
Yeah,
around right. Would still reflect that the dedicated Cardano lovers are still holding and most likely staking their coins.
Yeah. Well, that's that safety mechanism. That's why proof of stake. I believe in that as a more sustainable practice to generate coins in the market. Their market cap right now is at what was it saying? Market cap right now. Let me check it out. Is at 30.3 billion.
Well, just casually. Yeah.
So 24-hour volume is 584 million. But some of the statistics that I want to share since the update in April is that right now they've created 4.4 million native tokens.
Can you repeat that, please?
4.4 million native tokens.
Wow.
Okay. And they also right now have 900 projects running and are being developed on Cardano. And interestingly,
we've grown a lot.
Yeah. So that's the thing. The community. So if you look at the value of speculation and you look at the participating community, the community is consistently growing, which means that the technology, and by the way, my good listeners, it is a peer-reviewed platform.
It's currently the only one that we are aware of.
So if you listen to, for example, not only Charles Hoskinson, which is the CEO of IOHK, and sort of like our religious leader when it comes to Cardano, I'll do a little little joke there. he always takes a lot of time to explain in simple terms why peer reviewed is important, and they have a sort of an academic stronghold on this technology. So they invite the best minds.
It is the main point why everything takes forever, because they not only go through the normal processes of internal development and creation, but then they also go send it to get peer reviewed.
Exactly. So, exactly. And so let me go through some stuff that I think is cool, and materials that people can check out. There's this website called singularity.net. Right? And singularity.net, I'm going to pull it up right here, is it's really interesting. The speaker, you can search for him online, but he wants to create a benevolent AI. A benevolent, so decentralizing the creation and application of AI while progressively moving the world towards artificial general intelligence. And at the Cardano 360 this month, he talked about, if you think about it, if you create an artificial intelligence that's benevolent, in other words, it's going to take care of us and have some kind of, it's just benevolent. That's the last invention humanity could possibly have to create.
Possibly.
That's what he says.
I hope 4chan doesn't find this AI and tries to ruin it again,
But when he says that, he says it with such cool confidence and matter of fact. But, for me, it does kind of like, I don't know. It's both sounds amazing. If you just think about it, hey, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that would mean.
So briefly explain for those who may or may not know, right? What is a singularity in this context?
Well, I think what he means, that's that singularity. It comes from this mainframe tech that he's going to create. That singularity can be duplicated, and then it can grow into other things. So I think he kind of means from, hey, just like a big bang, you start here and then boom, and then it explodes into a whole universe. And I think he parallels that with, imagine starting with a benevolent AI, and then if you go to their marketplace, for example, at the marketplace, there's a lot of applications being made, like separating sounds from other sounds, and for example, if I'll pull it up. Here we go. Real-time voice cloning, text generation happening from a robot, Alpha Zero Chess. So what's happening is apps are being made on the blockchain, and he's going to combine that somehow with an AI that can do stuff for you. So it gets interesting. So instead of you being the brain and then creating an app, an AI is going to take much of that workload away from you, the developer, that is creating an intelligent application.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. But in context of Cardano, so let's not end up in artificial intelligence again. He's actually moving SingularityNet from Ethereum to Cardano. And just for our tech buffs out there, Cardano has a programming language called Haskell, and has a full-blown smart contract IDE that is Plutus, right? And in other words, from us as advocates, Haskell might be an interesting place to venture into if you're somebody that's already programming, and that's what we're working towards with Code of Trojan. But interesting also regarding the value of Cardano moving forward in the future, I think a move like this will, again, reinvigorate confidence from the community.
Definitely.
And hopefully we'll get a spike of value happening in the next bull run of the cryptocurrency landscape. Woof! I unpacked a lot there. So what do you think?
Essentially, right, the reason why Ethereum is still so big and will stay so big is that almost everything smart contract has Ethereum, an Ethereum version of it.
They were the first.
Yeah, they were the first, right? The issue is, of course, and that's the biggest complaint since we started the show, is the gas prices, right?
Right.
For those who don't know what those are, is every transaction takes a little gas. And what is the fuel? Your money.
Your Ethereum.
Your Ethereum, yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're
your
very,
Ethereum.
very high valued Ethereum.
Yes,
Right.
and people don't like paying much more on top of what they're already paying for the transactions on their on the transactions on the blockchain, right? And so a lot of other third generation cryptos, so Ethereum is second and Bitcoin would be Big Daddy first, right?
Yeah.
Like Cardano, and an honorable mention would be Polkadot, are trying to resolve this issue.
Algorand.
Algorand as well. Yes, yes.
In the Caribbean Blockchain Alliance, there's a lot of Algorand, fanboys.
Oh.
Like me, being a Cardano fanboy. Yeah. So I think we're now in a place where boys become men, kind of thing, right? So we're in this dip after this huge mainstream news push. Now the word blockchain has become a household thing, I think.
Yes.
But going now back to the roadmap, so roadmap.cardano.org, the status update right now is that we are going into something called Vassal. And that's the cool thing. They have these names for these periods, right? And Vassal is about releasing Plutus 2.0, which will be a huge push for, let's call it, development adoption. And there's actually a couple of more examples we're going to talk about of already established marketplaces and platforms and websites that are doing things with blockchain, are moving now, because what Plutus does is give enormous enablement, really, for ideas. And I'm going to move on directly to an very interesting website called Terra Virtua.
Terra Virtua.
Yeah, and
you mean virtual Earth?
I guess so.
Huh.
And if you go to Terra Virtua, and don't worry, guys, we'll be posting these links after the show for those that come in later. But they have a NFT marketplace, right? But it's premium. So, for example, in their marketplace, they have Mech Godzilla, they've got Top Gun, they got Pacific Rim, they got Lost in Space.
Oh, they have big boy brands.
They've got some big boy brands, and they already have distributed apps over multiple platforms like Windows and on Google. I don't know, probably they don't have it on Mac. I don't see it. But interestingly, they already have sort of a foothold and the right kind of relationships where enormously established content creators are entering the NFT space via them. What's interesting about them, that they actually have a metaverse environment.
Of course.
Which
wait, are we talking about Facebook's metaverse, or
no. Let's drop that whole brand for it. Here on Tech Impact, we don't recognize metaverse being Facebook's.
Okay.
And Meta. We're talking about conceptually the digital asset space, cross-platform that is now under development, really. But what's interesting with them, they have a metaverse environment where assets can be fully digital and 3D and experienced that way. And that's what makes it different.
So when you get your Pacific Rim mech and you load into the world, you would in the game be able to gaze up onto your giant mech.
And this is where, again, propagating the idea, that's where things are interesting. So the CEO spoke about it. You can research, guys and gals, by the way, you can research that online. But yeah, so imagine you get a car by, let's say, Hot Wheels, and you get that car and you have that asset. And it's not just an asset on your phone that you can show people or you want to speculate on it. It actually has utility. And he talks about utility being the future, and we all agree on that, right? And that car can enter, for example, their racing games that are going to be released later on, and then it can go into a race, for example. And imagine the possibilities of your Mecha Godzilla that you've got, and what kind of utility can be done with fully fledged digital 3D polygon-based assets. And they also have just a standard NFT marketplace as well. So, and by the way, they've decided to move away from Ethereum and start using Cardano.
Nice,
because the Cardano, it's exactly, they want to bring in self-minting within the platform, so people can mint their own assets or create their own. And Cardano seems to be the platform they chose.
And it's also more eco-friendly. Less.
I'm pretty
less
sure that if you have an already evaluated platform, right? It's out there. It's worth, let's say, worth 20 million. Where would you put your confidence for growth? And then if you go around the block, like we just said, maybe Algorand and Polkadot and there's some others out there. But Cardano is a very unique animal because it's already got over 1 million participants.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm getting really, while I was going through the research, I'm getting excited again.
Yes,
I'm getting that fire is coming back for Cardano as a solution. And by the way, when I saw Terra Virtua, I thought, hey, perfect, because I need to call somebody, by the way, shout out, to help with a workshop down here. So I'm going to give them a call. So
whoever you are, you know who you are.
You know who you are. I'll call you right after the show. But yes, it's interesting news, and it's starting to finally kind of take shape, right? So like 9 months ago, the Cardano platform, we minted at the local store NFT. Local NFT store.com. And it was great because it was achievable.
It worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
Is it the best user experience? Not yet.
No,
but
scary.
Now it's becoming interesting, so we got to reevaluate. Moving on. Very interesting news, by the way. They've got a new CEO. Not a CEO, excuse me.
SFO? CFO?
Yeah, they call it COSO, Chief Open Source Officer. And dude, I'm all about open source, baby.
Yes.
That is awesome. And the name is Dirk Hondo, joins Cardano Foundation as Chief Open Source Officer, which, this is the future. Aruba, the best place to go to build a resilient island, which is part of our plan, is embracing open source industries and bringing them in and start using them. I mean, that's the great thing. They're open. And
for those who don't know, who might be listening for the first time or not in a while, open source is essentially the idea that the code behind the product is, you can do whatever you want with it, essentially.
It's open to the public to mess around with.
Yes.
And a great example of that is Linux. Linux was an open source OS, and now there's many distros, distributions.
Variations.
Which means there's teams behind them, and they get organized. And then, for example, you've got Ubuntu, you've got Red Hat, and many other, Debian. And I have over 15 years experience distributing WordPress. So when clients of mine wanted a website, they were always made in WordPress because I can empower them later on. They can manage the content, which is also a open source code. So usually they run on an open source license.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway, going back to Mr. Dirk Hondo. Really cool. He's been in the open source industry for a long time, including Linux.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was most recently vice president and chief open source officer at VMware. You know what that is, right?
I know. I've used it.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
And he held a position of chief Linux and open source technologist at Intel for 15 years, in addition to being a Linux Foundation board director for 5 years. So what this also teaches us, there's this whole industry.
Yes.
There's this whole industry.
Behind the scenes.
Well, it's not behind the scenes. It's just not, we don't care to look behind the curtain.
Yes.
Or is it really behind the curtain? No, it's more like this. It's right in front of us, but it's not something we think about. Even I don't even think about it. But yeah.
So this man has a lot of stars on his chest.
A lot of stars, but that gives me a lot of confidence.
Of course.
In what kind of custodian he will be over the open source code, right? And I mean, it must be difficult. I mean, sometimes things fail.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
If the code simply doesn't work, And there's the worst thing for anything is mismanagement, right? So, and this is great news. By the way, this can be found at Cardano 360. Now, another recommendation I have, moving on. Any other questions on our open source officer?
No, so far, I'm keeping up. I hope the listeners are as well.
Yeah, we're already 25 minutes in.
All right.
So there's this other website, very cool. It's called Cardano Cube. It is I guess, it's not part of the official Cardano ecosystem, but Cardano recognizes Cardano Cube as a great resource. And if you look at it, and I will share, they have all the projects that have been built, from wallets to DeFi. And then there's also DEXs, right? So decentralized exchanges. We've got marketplaces. So in marketplace, I already count, let's say, about, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 35 fully fledged marketplaces.
Wow.
There's also about 35 infrastructure, help, I don't even know, microchains, 3Air, Blockfrost, Boundly, drip drops. I don't even know what those things are.
Essentially, this is showing us most of the Cardano ecosystem.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Metaverse, there's 40, 50 dApps or platforms, launchpads, games, social. So it's a great place. We can do a whole episode on just diving into Cardano
ecosystem,
Cube.
yeah.
But coincidentally, there's another news coming in. But it should have been live this weekend. But Cardano is releasing a community led platform called EssentialCardano.io.
EssentialCardano.io.
Yeah. So Essential Cardano is going to be led by someone official from Cardano. I think he's an ecosystems director, ecosystems growth, right? And that's the thing. The ecosystem is so large.
Yeah.
I mean, we can spend days just checking it out. And they've decided to release sort of a more, hey, everything Cardano, this is the place to be. And they're going to have really intuitive search bars to look for everything and anything. And it's going to have a sort of a Wikipedia DNA where everybody can contribute. But I guess there's going to be moderators. So everything Cardano, Essential Cardano guys and gals, brothers and sisters, check that out.
So it's going to be the official Cardano wiki.
Yes,
essentially.
But there's going to be a lot of innovation regarding how that's displayed. I saw it. You can watch it at Cardano 360 March, and we should be entering that. I've also subscribed to their newsletter, and we'll be incorporating Cardano tidbits, I think, every show, because now the pressure cooker is happening. You know, the heat is
steam
is
getting out.
Yeah, I think they're going to start blowing up. In ability. I don't know what that means from a value perspective.
More dApps.
But
is always
yeah,
nice.
more dApps means more adoption. More adoption means more quality, and more competition between dApps is also, it's also good for the whole crypto landscape, right? A couple of other things there's to check out is, for example, Hydra. Hydra is some other very technical technology, but when I check it out,
is that the fork that they were talking about?
Yeah, that's the fork.
So for those who don't know what a fork is, essentially it is when you have the blockchain, right? And its technology that has its own set of rules and like transaction costs, essentially the tech side, right?
Yeah.
And then it splits and looks like a fork because something on the other one changes and it stays the same at the same time, but they're kind of different, right?
Right.
And they run in parallel to each other.
Right.
And to simply put it, that's what a fork is.
It looks like one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a Tron.
Yeah.
Okay, some more news to go through, and we're gonna wrap it up. Very cool stuff.
Tell us.
Blockchain reforestation with VeriTree, a model for environmental practices.
Oh.
All right, so they are going to incorporate Cardano blockchain to, I guess, do something about the tree planting industry.
Oh.
Right? So double counting. They've been accused of, I guess, just destroying the planet. Right?
Of course. That's been a main counter argument against blockchain.
So
electricity and carbon footprint.
Cardano wants to, and I'm going to read it out loud from the Cardano Foundation website. Blockchain forest restoration allows for monitoring, tracing, validation, and permanence of the planted trees, thus creating trust for sponsoring companies, planters, and end consumers alike. So again, this is that's the puzzle piece. Always transparency, and accountability. Yeah. And maybe even performance enhancements through data collection and all the great stuff that blockchain is offering.
And it's green.
And it's the company's called Veritree. So I think it's a play on verifying
Veritree.
Veritree.
And it's like very tree.
They actually, it's so cool. They use the Cardano dots and then put it in a V.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they're going to help basically companies that are, doing those kind of activities become a little bit more environmentally friendly and put some great governance practices. Super cool. Let's move on. I got one more piece of news. Yes. So Input Output, which is sort of the funding company, funding area of Cardano for the community.
That's where if you need ADA,
if you have an idea
and you need ADA, you go to them.
Well, not that you need ADA, if you need funds. So they give you ADA, but it's to turn that into work and employees and costs. So they're a funding area, but they release Cardano. That's they can do that. So they're introducing the concept of delegate representatives. So DREPs will vote on the vast majority of proposal within Project Catalyst and enhance the quality of decision-making with each fund. And you know what? That was kind of my criticism, maybe like a year ago. Because if everybody in the Cardano ecosystem, so if you have Cardano in your wallet, you have voting rights.
Yes.
And if you can be the guy that doesn't care. That's fine. I haven't really voted, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I tried to vote, but didn't have enough.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Sorry. But there was also this whole. Are we really getting the quality in there? And I think it's a great idea to put in let's call them more important stakeholders maybe, and putting sort of a tier in there that people that understand blockchain better. It's like having a jury.
Yeah.
In Holland, there's no jury.
People who go and check.
Well, you got to be. Your peers are not necessarily the right people to understand difficult concepts.
Yeah.
That's why in Holland there are no juries. Because you have to understand law, for example. And I think this is a happy medium. So this was released in April 10th, and these DREPs will vote on the vast majority of proposal within Project Catalyst and in turn will enhance the quality of decision-making with each fund, right? And we're at Fund 9, Jean-Luc, Fund 9.
9, wow.
Fund 9. And every quarter people come in and they put in a white paper or sort of a business plan. And they say, hey, I want to do this. And for example, start an advocacy group in Africa. And, a long time ago, that was one of the goals for us. But we're taking a different road. I kind of like the independent road, but I think this is a good development. Any questions?
So essentially, right? We are from the community. Certain experts are going to rise and practically volunteer to basically keep track and quality check the.
Well, they're gonna exert decisions by a vote. So they're not gonna do. Well, obviously they have to do a little bit of that work, but I don't think it's gonna be their sole responsibility. But I think there's gonna be 2 tiers of voters. right? So there's going to be the General Assembly vote, the Cardano holder vote, and now DREP voters. Now, I don't understand exactly what that means. If you need like a 30% of the DREPs or a 90% of the community, don't know yet. But I do think it's important, to blend democracy, right? The democratic vote within the ecosystem. But then, let's not get shitty votes.
Yes.
People that understand, for example, what the difference is between this white paper and this other white paper, and they understand the proposal better. Like if I would look at a proposal and look at the bare bones programming language or something, I wouldn't know the difference, But anyway, last bit of news, I think, for this show.
Go ahead.
The Cardano Foundation unites with the University of Zurich, furthering Cardano's roots in academic research.
Hell yeah.
Right? So, interestingly, this news taught me something else, that the University of Zurich has a BDLT group, a blockchain and distributed ledger technology group.
Wow.
And they're going to collaborate. And the objectives is to contribute to the expertise of the BDLT group and the continuous development of Cardano. So they're going to be integrating the Cardano blockchain ecosystem within the university. And of course, that's going to be a case study, a practical case study, and dexterity will happen. So when you're doing something, you're going to learn about it. We can talk about Cardano all day, but we learn about Cardano by having it and buying it and sending it and minting it and participating, really.
And then you know how it works, and if it doesn't, you can theory craft all day, but if you never apply it, then what use is it of it?
Yeah, here we go. So the Frederick Gregard, the CEO of the Cardano Foundation, here we go. Our collaboration with the University of Zurich will provide crucial insights to nurture the ecosystem and enhance understanding of Cardano. As blockchain moves from the margins to the mainstream, considerably more academic research is required to enhance understanding and ultimately bring about adoption. Boom. Beautiful.
Simple.
So simple. And that just got me really excited. And we got great things moving forward. So, in light of this show, we will be putting out a meetup again. We'll probably do it end of May, and we'll be posting out an invitation so we can just get anybody out there. Jean-Luc and me will be there, and we'll see what happens. We will probably do it, I hope, at Oranjestad Bibliotheek.
Sure.
In the open ruimte. All right? Any other stuff, Jean-Luc?
I'm going to need to check out the Cardano games list.
I'll, when we're finished and we're moving on, I will be posting all this material within chat of Facebook. And
a brief thank you to our sponsors.
Yes.
Subway, Swingmasterz, and Qredits. I hope whatever you were eating or cooking turns out great.
And there's some stormy clouds out there, so enjoy the day. The wind will be down, and tomorrow is looking a bit more windy. Have a good one.
Till next week.
Till next week.